is called to order. Invocation followed by pledge of allegiance, roll call, and approval of the minutes for October 24th, and agenda discussion. Lord God, we come to you, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus, and we thank you, Father, for this meeting on today, our finance meeting in reference to the 2022 closeout. We thank you, Father, that we all in one accord, and we thank you, Lord, that we'll give you the glory on what's about to transpire during this meeting on today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everyone, as I indicate, welcome to our finance meeting. You okay? You okay? Okay. Yeah, welcome to our finance meeting on today. It's going to be short and sweet. Just want to give everyone an update of our 2022 closeout. We have roll call, Councilwoman Cates, and I'm here.
Councilman Mark Irvin, District East, Council President, I'm here.
Yes, and Councilwoman Temple, she may possibly be en route.
And we got Brenda Ford, Council Secretary, and
Right.
just state y'all's name for
Right, I was going to ask everybody to go around and state the name and stuff.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
That's here. At this point, we're gonna go around table, starting with Miss Brenda, all the way to the right. Individuals that are here today.
Brenda Ford, City Council Secretary.
Sharon Evans. Anita Graham, citizen.
Jamal Robinson.
Oh, John Sanders.
And Gloria Cates. The approval of the minutes of October 24th, Mr. Sanders is working on the minutes. They're currently listed as public, but he will be making that correction whereas folks can go in and view the October 24th minutes to public. Correct, Mr. Sanders?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Agenda discussion, update of the 2022 closeout. Okay, first, I would like to start, and I do have some handouts, and because we are kind of fixed for time, I'm gonna make sure everybody gets a copy of these handouts. First of all, from our CPA, Miss Becky Hammond, I always ask Miss Becky Hammond where she is on the 2022 closeout. Now, on last week, I did speak with her, and she had not received the financials as of yet from E&A, our accountants. But today, she did indicate we're working through a large amount of supporting documentation that we have received, and we'll be sending the updates with any follow-ups questions on tomorrow. Now, in reference to payment, because I have been inquiring about payment as well. Now, Ms. Hammond has received 50 of the $60,000 that for her services. I inquired week before about that. She has received her payment as of this past Tuesday. She received her payment on that. So she is currently working through some individual, and you should have that mark in your and then also I did ask her about the 2022 audit, where we were with our fund balances, because that is a concern of not only the finance committee, but the council members as well. And she did indicate, I asked her if she could give me an unaudited amount of our fund balance, and she said, per your request, the unaudited fund balance for the general fund as of 12/31/2022 is $1,766,032. So that's our current fund balance based on the information provided to her from Eisner and Amper. Those are accountants. So we are not in a deficit at this time, but this is an unaudited balance for us for the city of Bogalusa. Moving on to Eisner and Ampner. Um, I did send some information to them on last week about their payment, and they received their payment of 148,000 and 700. Let me make sure here. $148,833.73. They did receive that amount on November 7th, a week ago today. And they had kind of, how can I put it? Until they received those funds, they were kind of prohibited in continuing to work. But they have received all of their funds, and as I said, Ms. Hammond has received everything except 50,000. I mean, except 10,000 in her funding. Now, as I said, I did ask a series of questions of Eisner and Amper on last week, and I asked if they had begun to finish the financials, the draft financials for 2022. And the response back was that we have not started the work on the financials since we didn't have an agreement to do so. Okay, I was waiting on payment for the services we have completed before I would agree to send the engagement letter for us to work on the complete financials. So meaning, as I said seconds ago, they were waiting on payment before they would consider to do the financials, the draft financials. Now these draft financials will be for 2022 audit. Now the payment, I asked them yesterday, what the payment exactly was for, because I was under the impression, I said, under the impression that E&A began and finished the financials and only needed forwarded toward for the CPA once the invoice was taken care of. So now this invoice for the accountants, Eisner and Amper, has been taken care of. Now we will have to enter into an agreement. They did indicate they will be sending a letter to the mayor to sign off for the draft financials. So, and I did ask if they would need a separate, since this is a contract, if they would need a separate resolution or vote by the council. So I have not received response back yet on that, but they did say they would send a letter so they can get started. And I asked also, so the payment was for the past due amounts on the work or the work that you were about to do. And they indicated the payment just received was past due amounts for all work completed for the accounting services and closeout. Okay. Then I questioned if the engagement letter for the mayor's signature is the agreement which recently voted upon or another vote required. And they said yes. I have not executed it yet because we are in non-payment of the previous work. Okay, now that we receive payment, I can execute the engagement letter and proceed with the financial statement preparations. So they're gonna get started with the financial statement preparation, and I asked what the timeline would be, and they indicated that the timeline would be probably in December for that they will have everything completed in order to send to our no, to our CPA, to Miss Hammond. And then once Miss Hammond finishes up, then it will be proceed to the legislative auditors. So looks like we have a little timeline. It looks like we may be on that non-compliance list, you know, a little bit more time consuming for the non-compliance list, which is primarily the reasoning why, you know, I am inquiring about this 2022 closeout, because we need to get off that compliance list. We definitely need to get off of it so that we can return back to our grants. Now, we can receive grants, but if the grants are coming, which most of them are, if the grants are coming through the state versus just federal grant, they have to be approved, from what I understand. They have to be approved, and that will prohibit us with the non-compliance list. But we can continue, like at the airport. Say if we have a grant that is through the airport, a federal grant, that is not prohibited. But if there's a grant a federal grant that's coming through the state, we cannot be allowed that because we are on the non-compliance list.
Excuse me, point of order.
Yes.
For the record, for the audio recording, I know live stream picked it up. Councilwoman Temples has joined us. Welcome.
Yes, Councilwoman Temple.
And you have an agenda too.
Okay.
So, Councilwoman Cates, to recap and to be clear, what Eisner and Amper's saying that they're going to hand off their work to Becky Hammond in sometime in mid-December. Is that correct?
Yes.
But Becky is going to take her at least 90 days to finish.
I have not spoken with her on a timeline. I know she has given us a timeline prior to, you know,
You're
she's
talking
given us a
about
timeline.
2022 or 2023?
We're talking about 2022.
So.
No,
Becky
no,
Hammond doesn't have
that's already
anything
handed
from
off
us on
already.
that?
Okay.
No, that's
No.
handed off already. You talking about 23? If they
No.
do,
I'm not talking about 23. According to the emails that I'm talking about 2022.
Becky Hammond's been handed all that stuff already. Matter of fact,
Well, not from Eisner and Amper.
that's just they're gonna transfer that over. We already had that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, according to the emails that was sent, Eisner and Amper still has to finish up the 2022 financials.
Okay.
And if they have not started, primarily two reasonings from what I'm gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Two reasonings. The payment,
Mm-hmm.
they will do July, August, and September.
Mm-hmm.
That's been taken care of as of last week. And number two reasoning is because they do not actually have an engagement letter for the 2022 closeouts. They don't have
they
that.
do have that. They don't have it for 2023 closeout.
Yeah.
No, they're still I mean, not according to
Didn't we
this.
have to go to? Didn't that wasn't up to council?
What?
I asked them. I said, "Is that not what we voted upon?" But we voted upon apparently it was 2023.
No.
We voted already on a 22 engagement letter. We already done all that.
The engagement letter,
Yeah.
okay, but the engagement letter, from what I understand,
Yeah.
was for the
The
Let me
financial
get-
statements for the 2022.
right, the financial
That
statement.
was the last thing y'all voted on.
Hold on, what they apparently they don't have it because he said that he was going to resend it. He was going to send it, not resend it. He was going to send it to the mayor for the mayor's signature for the engagement letter for 2022. And I'll read exactly what he emailed to me. I'll get it. Good question.
Now, is it my understanding we're not allowed, or the administration's not allowed to work on 23 until 22 is completely done, completely handed in? Is that
That's
correct?
that's a question for our city attorney.
Okay.
You know, but I have heard that, but I need to
I
get some
heard it from-
documentation.
I heard it from the legislative auditor that they wanted 22 completely finished before proceeding on 23.
Well, they'll be
Yeah.
the last one, receiving that, but let me find,
That's why I'm trying to verify.
okay,
If
and I'm
their,
gonna,
if their views have changed or whatever, you know, I'm talking about on upstream.
okay. Now, this is about 2022, audit. He indicates that, and that's the only thing I addressed, 2022 audit.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I was under the impression that E&A had begun and finished the financials and only needed, to forward, to the CPA once the invoices were taken care of.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've taken care of the 2022, invoices.
Right.
And he said, we have not started work on the financials since, and we're talking about 2022 financials. We have not started the work on financials since we did not have an agreement, to do so. So it's a separate agreement so far. You know, the one that we voted on,
Mhm.
okay, I was on the impression as well that it was 2022.
We're gonna verify. I'm gonna verify that tomorrow. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Because
Yeah.
that don't sound right.
If Mr.
Yeah.
Sanders is aware of it, that means we may have done it. That's why I'm looking, see.
Right. I'm gonna
Right.
check that
Sanders.
out. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And before I leave, I'll call Mr. McLean
Yeah.
and,
I'll call
Get a
Gina.
And
find
that,
out.
and.
yeah, and this is, Gina Lee verified this as well.
Right. But I need to call
That
them.
email was from November the 12th.
No, this email, this is a string email. This email was from yesterday.
Yesterday, okay.
Yeah, see, you'll see, when you, if you go back, you'll see.
Okay. I'm checking that one.
Yeah, you see. He's saying that, I was waiting on payment for the services we have completed before I would agree to send the engagement letter for us to work on the complete financials.
Okay.
This is what he's saying. And, let's see. And also, he says, so the payment, was for the past amount due, because I asked him, you know, what were the payments for? Because I was under the impression that he was, you know, once we paid them, they were gonna go ahead and, start on the financials. But he said there's a agreement letter that has to be sent for the 2022, financials.
And they signed off. And they signed
And
off
he
the
sent-
the
yeah,
draft
he-
contract too as well. That was part of the council meeting that we had. I think we had signed. We had
But,
signed
yeah,
that.
see, check to see, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
ask,
will. I'll do
Attorney
that.
May to check to see what we voted on, where we were, you know, what
Talk to
status
Brenda.
we were in,
Talk
you
to
know.
Brenda, she should have that. If it was brought before council, then we signed that, and it's probably filed.
But has it been sent to E&A?
Well, I know, yeah. Well, we'll find out. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, and I'll call him before we leave as well.
I'll take
And he
care of
also said the payment just received was for past due amounts for all of the work we completed for the accounting services and closeout.
Mhm.
That payment
Right.
that was done, that
Because
148.
if anything's filed with the, in a meeting, it's signed by the mayor, it's given to Brenda, and it's filed. So if it's been given and signed and filed, then you probably KK even sent it off to him as well. 'Cause she's been real good about
see,
that.
this is the thing too. Okay, yes, we voted on it, but he
Right.
still said he was going to send the mayor a letter. I know early on he had indicated that he would, we will sign off on the contract,
Mm-hmm.
and then after all the particulars were done, he was going to send a letter back to the mayor for signature. So I'm thinking this is the letter that the mayor, he said between today and Friday, he was gonna send the letter for the mayor to sign off on.
Okay, well, we'll reach out to him tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Once again, I said the engagement letter for the mayor's signature is the agreement we recently voted upon. I said, or another vote required. He said, yes. I have not executed it yet because we we of non-payment of our previous work. Now that we receive payment, I can execute the engagement letter and proceed with the financial statement preparation. Okay, this is what he's written. And like I said, I will okay, this is also, it is dated 12th. Miss Cates, the financial statements have not yet been prepared because I asked him if he had sent those
Okay,
statements.
I understand.
Right.
Let's keep
I'm
going.
just reading everything so it'll be clear and it'll be public. There are a few things that need to happen first in order to prepare the financials. We need an engagement letter first, which I plan on sending over to the mayor to sign today or tomorrow. Okay, that was Tuesday. He said once I get the engagement letter, I will need to schedule staff to work on preparing the financials. Again, we're talking about the 2022 financials. I expect the process to take several weeks to complete. Mid-December of the mid-December of the mayor's signs the engagement letter is a rough estimate on completion. Now that's their completion. Okay. And I can email you his statements, you know. They received the funds. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to go through. I think that most of this information I did discuss at the last finance meeting on the 24th. Because at that time, I think Mr. Bailey on the 24th indicate that's when he said we're gonna pay them this week. So they were paid, you know, from Eisner, once again, Eisner Advisory Group, LLC. And he said, please call me if there are any discussions. And I'm sure he doesn't mind. I did let him know that we were having a finance meeting today, giving an update of our closeout. And I'm sure he doesn't mind me calling him. And I can call him once I'm done with if everyone's wishes me to do so today, before we leave. I did discuss with Ms. Hammonds her unedited, her unaudited fund balance. I did discuss that, and once again, it's a big thing that we are we're not in a deficit that I can see, but it is unaudited. Now, okay, let's see. Moving on, are there any additional questions on what the two primary agencies discussed was Mr. McLean and Miss Jenny Lee from Eisner and Amper, and the information from our CPA, Miss Becky Hammond. And as I said, this is short and sweet, but I did want to give everyone an update on where we are with our 2022 closeout. Is very imperative that we get it closed out. We get our budget, 2022 budget, closed out, so that we can move on. At this time, are there any additional comments?
I'm just trying to get an understanding. So basically, all that you just said,
Yes.
we're looking at next year before it to be complete, right?
Well, I did read to you Osner and Amper's response. He indicated they will be done by mid-December now. Now, Ms. Hammond indicated she was working through with what she had. So I know at one point she had indicated that she needed the all she needed was the information, the financials, the detailed financials from Eisner and Amper, and we have to clarify what time period she will include. It could be that she, and hopefully all she needs is the Eisner and Amper information, and she can plug it in and we can move on before the end of the year, you know.
Well, I'm just curious, cause what did you mention about 90 days, that was something, a usual time frame, or did I miss something? I mixed something up.
That's what I thought, that Becky Hammond would be finished within 90 days or 3
Right.
months.
From
But
December?
that depends on her workload, because you gotta keep in mind the assignments at that particular,
Where's
agency. She also handles business. You know,
Right.
every CPA firm handles business. You'll be, at that time, if we get too late with it, you're gonna have business stuff they're gonna be working on and assign them to business stuff. So we gotta make sure we get our 22 over to her pronto.
right? Right.
If this is the case, I mean, I'm just like everybody else in this building. I'm, you know, wherever you're at. I wanna see this 22 done immediately.
Right.
Um,
Right.
But I don't know how long really in reality that would take.
That's what I'm saying, I'm just trying to get an understanding, cause you got the holidays, if it's mid-December,
You got a massive load
And
of stuff here too today.
that, so
Yeah,
realistically, we probably looking at next year.
yes,
Yeah.
And that's 22 closeout.
yeah,
Correct.
So then after that, we working on 23 closeout.
that's right.
Yes.
But, question, in the previous finance meeting, I know we was trying to get off 22, get a, extension for 23. In this window, we were trying to get grants, so we wouldn't have to deplete the ARPA fund,
Right.
but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So what is that money gonna be designated for, since, from my understanding, if we didn't use it by
December
January,
31st.
it's gonna be gone. And this is why when I asked that question back in that meeting, what is the plan?
Right.
Just in case our plan is not, if it doesn't meet the timeline.
Yes. Yes.
So have we even thought about that, since we're looking at mid-December?
1 second. Hello. Good afternoon. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. McLean? This is Gloria Cates. Yes. I
You need to disclose to tell her.
I am. Okay. Okay. We're currently in a finance meeting, and I was reading over your notes, and I'm not trying to put you on yes, trying to put you in a certain position, Mr. McLean, but just one question. The subject matter of our conversation was in reference to the 2022 audit closeout, correct?
Yeah, we were talking about that, yeah.
Yes, and the information that we need, now that the payment has been done, okay. You do have your payment. You indicated that you will send an engagement letter for the mayor to sign off on this week, and that is for the 2022 closeout financial preparation documents.
That's to prepare the financial statements. That's a separate contract.
That's a separate contract for 2022.
And that's the one y'all approved, a month and a half ago or something like that.
Okay, so it already has been approved. I did mention that once we approve, you indicated you had to fine tune the letter and send it back to the mayor, correct?
Yeah, I sent, email to his, assistant today to arrange getting that to him
Okay, that's for the 2022, once again, the 2022 closeout, preparations, financial preparation.
That's right.
Okay, and I did,
I need to have the contract signed so I can proceed with doing the work.
yes, yes, so you can proceed to do the work. Okay, I just want to clarify, um, about what information we need to get back for you, so we have voted on it, and you send the letter back to the mayor this week, today, and, we need to get that back to you so you can proceed.
Well, yeah, I need the mayor's assistant to call me back or send me an email back that explain, so we can arrange how the mayor wants to sign it. We usually like getting these signed via online via DocuSign
Right.
instead of off paper and pen. But
Right.
I have to hear back to see how to proceed with getting that down.
Okay, I think I discussed this process in another finance meeting, but we did just want to clarify. And once again, I do see in your notes that it may be mid-December before you finish with your preparation.
Yeah, it's not an instantaneous thing, unfortunately. It takes it's a process to go through, make sure that we have everything in there and in the review process here. And part of that too is, Thanksgiving is
Yes,
just in a couple weeks.
yes,
It's not really a full week
yes.
anyway. And then, they have the Christmas holidays coming up. So
We just talked about that.
early December.
Okay,
Contingent upon, me getting the engagement letter signed.
yes,
There's a lot of things that have to happen.
yes.
But I need to, I think her name is
KK Vonado. Now we do have our compliance, Mr. Sanders. He is also here, and he will be doing a follow up. Correct, Mr. Sanders? Okay, yeah, he'll be doing a follow up, and we need to get which you probably do not know, but with our CPA, Miss Hammond. Once you get the information to Miss Hammond, uh, her timeline. We got to get her timeline of finishing up everything.
Yeah, I spoke with her today, and I'll let her know that I need to get this letter executed to proceed, and she understood. And I let her know early to mid December is when I'm hoping to be able to get it accomplished by.
Okay, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And I did disclose that you were paid your full amount. So you start acting accordingly after that was done.
Yeah, I in the process of getting the letter tweaked. Not much. I mean, I think I've changed the date on it to make it reflective of the more current date, and trying to get it to the mayor now. Now, you did ask me if I could give you a copy of the financials.
Yes, I did ask for a copy of the draft financials.
But I'm not able to do that because under my standards,
Yes,
this preparation engagement is only done for the auditor's eyes only.
yes, okay.
Okay, so this is not for public release. And the reason why is because I'm not attaching a letter to it.
Yes.
It's just a preparation
Okay.
for the auditor's use only. And that's what the way the contract was drafted.
Okay, now will we be able to receive a copy of the actual letter that you're sending?
The engagement letter,
The engagement letter, yes.
well, the city can provide that to you. I would think the KK could provide it
Okay,
to you.
I will get with her and see if she would do that.
Yeah, the contract.
Right.
But just and understand that if I was compiling your financial statements, that means I will be issuing an accountant's letter with it.
Yes.
I can provide you a copy, but I can't do that if I'm not providing an auditor's or an accountant's letter
Yes, yes,
budgetary standard.
yes. Well, thank you so much.
I don't want you, I don't want anybody relying on it until the auditor says it's okay.
Right, right. Now she did give us an unaudited balance today from her standpoint, and I did make that public because this is all public information. You know, I did make that public, and happy to say that we are not in a deficit. Hmm But that we are not in a deficit
For 22,
for 2022. It's only for 2022 that she sent over to me this afternoon.
yeah.
Okay then.
And I'm working with her to, if she has any other adjustments, we're gonna coordinate that she gets those to me so that we could, get the financials correct. But as of today, she says she has no adjustments just yet.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? No?
I like one comment, it's not a question. When all this problem with the 22 budget came up, the problem was that there was no closeout on the retirement fund. And now it's grown into this big giant monster with everything else involved. And it's unreal that it can happen like this.
Yes.
Just
The
unreal.
comment was, Mr. McLean, is that there was actually no closeout on the retirement fund. And I did require, although I wasn't on the finance meeting, a finance committee, I did inquire for actuary report, to see where we were with our finance and, was, well, anyway.
Yeah, the actuary did provide a report for 22.
Yes,
But,
did you
the
get a call?
closeout for 23 hasn't happened. And of course, 24 hasn't happened yet either.
So no actuary report for 2023 and 2024. Okay.
The actuary is not, typically doesn't prepare that unless there's a closeout financial statement from the.
Right. That's the reasoning why we don't have an actuary report, because it hadn't been any closeout for 2023 or 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But there was he did do an accurate report for 22.
Okay. Yeah. I did ask for a copy of that. I will ask for it again to see where we are, because that entails our retirement for, I believe, Cobras and our our Cobras system.
Covers only the actuaries for
Right.
the other three plans or different, and that those are other, state plans that y'all enroll in.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. We will definitely do a follow up on that letter that's coming back. We'll do a follow up on it, and I'm sure I'm sure that he will, and I will do a follow up myself, because as I told everyone, this is very imperative that we get this 2022 closeout. Although we're still on the non-compliance list for 2023, but we gotta we can at least get an extension, if everything's proceeded to the legislative auditor, but just want to kind of get a timeline on it, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, the closeout for 22 is done as far as I'm concerned. The only piece that's left is this other work I have to do to prepare the financials now.
Okay.
I couldn't prepare the financials, so the closeout was done, but now that it's done, I can prepare them, but now I need an engagement letter for that other service.
Yes. Engagement for that.
It's a different service.
Right.
Different project and everything.
Okay. Okay. And but however, we have voted on it, and you have not received the contract back. Have you received the contract?
No, I haven't, because I haven't given it to him yet.
It's okay. So it's going to be another contract. That's what I was saying earlier. Okay. It's because it's a different service, the financial preparation. Okay.
It's a different service, and y'all approved the contract, but I could not execute it until I got paid.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we'll be in touch. Any other questions? We'll be in touch, Mr. McLean. Thank you so much for the good work you guys are doing. You guys are working with the city of Bogalusa. I appreciate that. And thank you for your candidness on this today.
All right, very good.
Okay,
Talk to you later.
all right. Thank you, bye-bye. Okay, I wanted to get that, and it was disclosed that we were in a finance meeting. He knew I was going to have a finance meeting today. And back to your question, Mr. Robinson, the dedication of the remainder of the ARBA funds. I tell you, the last couple of weeks, the council has been dealing with a slew of pumps that have been down. I mean, just, and I have requested, the funding for the repair of the pumps and the sewage and, and that's going on to see exactly how much, it is costing us and where we are on that. So, I can't make a firm decision, but I would like to see how much has gone into the pumps. District A, for example, I appreciate Councilman Urban letting me know over in Poplar's. I'm thinking that the pump was repaired, but we had problems again over there in Poplar's. City Hall, which is also in District A, had a shooting up of gushing water in the back of the building. So it's happening all over Avenue F. It just several areas within the city that we're having problems with our sewage.
St. John.
Well, that's why I wasn't concerned on the monetary amount. I was just concerned even at that last meeting, if everything didn't go according to plan, what would be our contingent plan?
Mm-hmm.
So we already have something in motion, or what we're trying to dedicate the money on.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't be at the last minute trying to figure it out.
We're going
Right before the 31st.
Right.
Yes.
we're gonna have to dedicate that money. There's no way around
Yeah,
it.
we have to dedicate the money. Mr. Smalls has been on that task. Miss Billiard, Courtney Billiard has been on that task. Miss Hines has been on that task. We're just putting fires out. I mean,
Yeah, I just
all
didn't see
over.
no need to wait till the last minute. I just
What-
believe in having multiple
what
plans in
I-
case one don't go through.
What I would suggest is to dedicate it to water and sewer infrastructure and just leave it at that.
Mhm.
And that's gonna have to be done by ordinance,
Yeah, we have to do
immediately,
ordinance.
matter of fact.
And that's another thing, it gotta be done by ordinance, so we had to make sure we had time to get that in.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And that was my whole,
Right.
the re-questioning a few meetings back behind, this here. I wasn't saying the plan wasn't gonna go, but
Right.
in case it didn't go, what it looked like it's not going, cause I thought we were trying to get up to 22 to get an extension, so we could try to get grants
Right.
to fix everything.
Yes, I've
But if it doesn't happen,
contacted
then what?
everybody
And
for
that's why I
a
was
grant.
asking,
Everybody from
why
our.
are we, so, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta
Further-
fix the sewage.
Furthermore, it was suggested several years ago, not by the legislative order, I think it was the DEQ, suggested a 25% of the water bill or water thing
Mhm.
should be dedicated to a reserve to match grants as they come in. So you won't be in this bind. You're gonna have to leave the rest of it for emergency repairs. You understand what I'm saying? In other
Right.
words, work efficiently, so you won't have to take out of the general fund every time. But that has never ever been done. But it's gonna have, these things are gonna have to be
Right.
done.
We're gonna need to look into it, cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quickly.
And
I
I'm not
agree,
blaming
and
nobody
quickly.
in the situation.
No,
I'm
we're
just-
not.
We're gonna have to,
We're not
you know,
sitting here,
kinda
but there's
put some
some,
stuff in reserve.
yeah, put some things in reserves,
Exactly.
going forward. But meantime, the ARPA's gonna have to be dedicated.
So what are
'Cause-
y'all
and we
gonna
can
do?
use the money all the way until 26. That's
Well,
what,
what was the part of, you can use it up
Right,
until
as long as it's
26,
dedicated.
As long as it's dedicated, if not, it got to go back at the end
yeah,
of the
go
year.
back, yes.
Right.
Yes, it would
Okay,
go back.
that's what I was
Okay.
trying to make sure I was on the same page and understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, our next item, any public participation or any other questions that we might have? I did
Mr.
have,
Sanders.
I did have,
Never
Mr.
mind. Go ahead.
Sanders?
Never mind, never mind.
I did have one thing I had pulled. I had inquired, this is, it's pertaining to the budget and it's not pertaining to the budget.
Yes.
I did make a inquiry to Joy Richard, our past physical administrator, and I let him know in review of our 3-year plan. I said in review of the June 14th, 2021 final report of the structural deficit 3-year plan, pages 9 through 15. I asked him, I said, in your opinion, would be the proposed period to complete segments of the plan. I was asking him what he had presented in the plan, what did he propose to be, and he indicated, I said the structural deficit 3-year plan, number 1, general action, required expenditure, develop a plan for expending $4,200,000 to potentially available federal grants related to the American Rescue Plan. The focus on one-time grant on capital improvements to the sewer and water system and potential broadband improvements. Okay, the city's consulting engineers have determined $12 million in improvements to the city's sewage. Number 2, street overlay. Number 3, the city should update the public works equipment. And then number 4, other matters to consider, parish wide communication center, labor agreements are dated, consolidating 3 operation fire stations into 2 locations. And then the 4th bullet is 2022 estimated budgets. I said any notes should be appreciated on this matter, Councilwoman Case. And he wrote back that in review of the June 14, 2022 final report of the structural deficits 3-year plan, pages 9 through 15, in your opinion, okay, I asked him that. Wait a minute. And he responded back. Responded back on April 11th, 2024. No completion dates were recommended. The mayor and the council would determine the urgency and priorities of the various recommendations and implement them. So I wanted to know where we were primarily with the fire stations. If there was an urgency with the closing from 3 to 2 fire stations, and that was his response. And I can make sure that council members, you get a copy of this.
And when was that email dated, Councilwoman Cates?
This email was dated, I sent an inquiry to him in April, and I read it once through another council meeting, finance meeting, and his response back was April 11, 2024.
And aren't we
Yeah.
past the 3 years now, effective this summer?
Yes.
I got a question,
So June 2021.
All right,
just see if
that
I'm
one's about to die.
understanding.
It's kind of
Now, the
a-
response you got was that goes between the mayor and the council, because there was no timeline on what had to be done.
Right.
Read that correctly?
Right.
So, question, where is the mandate coming from?
I would have to inquire about that, or you would have to inquire, with the, you have any idea, Mr. Sanders, on the mandate for the fire stations?
No, not this time. No, that's being dealt with.
Yes, so we'll have to get with Mr. Smalls or the mayor.
Well,
on
I'm
that.
just trying to get a thorough understanding, cause, and I could be wrong, and if I am, stop me.
I was too, at the time
mandate
that
is
it was
supposed
brought up
be
to
coming
us.
From what
Yeah.
was proposed then, but what you just read doesn't sound nothing like whatever I've heard as far as a mandate by this gentleman here.
Yes. Well,
Just
I
trying to
want
make
to,
sure
I
I'm
want to
on the
share that as, I want to share that as part of, our, public participation, other financial matters, The only other announcement, and we're moving on, we have another meeting at 5:30, the mayor's meeting, per our city attorney. And it's according to section 502 in our charter that the mayor will submit a budget to the council. So it's a formal meeting, this year. And, with that being said, if no one has any
We
other.
have one more announcement, the next finance committee.
Yes,
meeting,
the next
19th
thank you, Ms. Brenda.
At 3:00.
The actual, once we receive the budget, we will be having a finance meeting on November 19th at 3:00, and the agenda item will be the 2025 budget. It's just a beginning of it. Once we receive it as well, we are contemplating on having that budget on our council website as we did, back in June when we received 2024. So folks would have, and I'm not certain, where it will be placed, if it would be in the library or, at this time, but that may be discussed this afternoon, I'm not certain.
And where will this meeting on the 18th be? The 18th or 19th?
On the 19th,
And where
here
will
in the
It's
war
same
room.
day as the
Yeah.
council meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here in the war room. It's just a preliminary of the budget, to start looking at the budget. The finance committee will probably have other meetings, proceeding, and then there will be a public hearing on the, budget as well. And, scheduled to be introduced when December 3rd?
I think so.
Yeah, December, well, actually, it's gonna be introduced and public hearing of the budget will be on November the 26th, Tuesday, November the
26th.
26th at 5:30.
Right.
If the public has questions about the budget, that is the time to come, to ask ask questions to the administration about the budget, not the council, but the budget. And then the proposed, date for final vote is gonna be Tuesday, December 3rd
Third.
at regular council meeting, at 5:30.
Yes.
So we have two future upcoming
Right.
council meetings, one on the 19th, that's regular council meeting on the
Right.
19th
Right.
of November, and then December 3rd will be the date and so there's really two public hearings, technically.
Yes, it should be. It was
Yeah.
last year.
Not losing a lot
Yes.
before we place a vote, there's gonna be another hearing.
And as I said, we'll be conducting a committee meeting, finance committee meeting, probably in between those times. But it will be posted within the public open meeting laws. It'll be posted on when we will be meeting accordingly within a 24-hour period. With that being said, if there are no other questions, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
You want to do another meeting?
Yeah, might as well.
Recorders are off.
Since I'm over here.
Um,
I couldn't find my keys until